Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Or good afternoon, or super morning, or early evening. Again, we're gonna, if everyone could just turn their microphones off so that if someone has to take a call, we won't hear the conversation, which would be great. Johnny, you're recording, right?
Yes.
Great. So welcome to Sicily's eastern coast. So, it's sunny in Sicily today. In Catania, it's 70 degrees. We were talking earlier, it's starting to feel like summer is arriving. And with that has come some good news. I'm sure that all of you are up on it and reading about it. So it looks like in June, Europe is going to be open to Americans, but we'll get more word in the next weeks, I'm sure. So that's something that we just are just waiting for. We just want that to happen in the worst possible way. So I really feel confident that we're going to see a shift this summer, which is great. And the question is always, how do we get our clients, your clients, to start to be aware of that? So we're here to help you if you need any advice, or you want us to at least talk about what we've done in the past. So we're happy to share that with you. So we're going to end up, so, Italy is big. I mean, Italy is big. Of course, Italy is big, but Sicily is a really big island. And over the years, we've had a lot of requests for Sicily, obviously. And the question for us is always about how much time does somebody have when they want to go on a holiday, and what do they want to see? And what we thought to do was to break Sicily into just different chunks, so that we could focus on different areas. And this way you'll get a better chance to get to know it. So, right now we're going to be on the East Coast, on the Ionian Sea. And as we said earlier, Sicily is the biggest island in the Mediterranean, settled by the Greeks around 8th century BC, by the town of Naxos. That's where the first Greek colonies arrived. And the remnants of Greece is throughout Italy. You've got throughout southern Italy, but specifically in Sicily, you've got some of the most beautiful temples and theaters that have remained from those days. We're going to be in Syracuse. Syracuse was a rival of Athens. It was such a big Greek city, visited by Plato in 388. It was the birthplace of Archimedes, this genius of a mathematician and scientist. We'll visit today the Baroque cities. So it's Noto, Modica, Ragusa. We'll head north up into Etna and gain an experience there. So we're going to take you around the eastern portion of the island. And Johnny, if you want to bring on some of the maps. And
Sure. We will start with our videos of our presentation. And we have with us today three very important people for us. We have Giulio, which is our person on location. Moshe, which is a fantastic guide that knows very well the island, and he will have sometimes to talk with you during the presentation. And we have Alex Massari, which is our partner as hotelier in the area, and we will inspect the hotel. So let's move forward with some information. This one is just to locate where is located Sicily. I believe that I don't have to spend too much time on this slide. Sicily can be reached by many different destinations, European destinations. I put just few of them, and as you can see, the flights are very short flight from all over Europe. The connectivity within the canal of Sicily between the mainland and Messina is 15 minutes connection, and is very easy to reach Sicily all over Italy. After that, I will pass the microphone to Moshe, that will start to introduce you Sicily and mainly the eastern portion of Sicily. Moshe, is yours.
Thank you very much.
Moshe,
Yes.
I wanted to say one thing. If anybody has any questions, just ask them in the chat. We'll answer them as we move along. And if you just let us know if any of you have been to Sicily before, that would be great for us to know.
Okay. So thank you, Tom, and actually thank you, everybody. First of all, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening for those who are staying in Sicily. And actually, our tour today is going to take us to the east coast of Sicily, as Tom already said. When we speak about the east coast of Sicily, we are speaking about one portion of the island. We are speaking actually about the shortest tract of the coastline that goes from the north, the Strait of Messina, which is separating Sicily from the rest of the Italian peninsula, and all the way up to the south to this corner of Sicily, which is actually part of the province of Ragusa. Okay. Now, we are going to speak today only about the east coast of Sicily. This is actually a map of Sicily that I made a break in the middle, in the way that you are going to see exactly what is the portion that we are going to deal with today. Is the one which is staying on the right-hand side. And actually this kind of a white smoke that you are going to see in the middle, this is the sign of Mount Etna, okay? Actually, we are going to deal with the other side in our next meeting, which is going to take place in June on the West Coast. Okay, so actually speaking about the history of Sicily and the east coast of Sicily, it's almost impossible in such a short time. That's why I choose to touch two important historical events that changed completely the east coast of Sicily. And actually this is something that if you will come to the east coast of Sicily, you are going to trace and to see in a very evident way in the landscape, in the archaeological side, or in the urban aspects of the city. The first important episode actually is the Greek colonization of Sicily that started at the east coast of the island, exactly at the 8th century BC. All the cities which are located along the east coast of Sicily have Greek heritage. All of them have a Greek archaeological important site. It's almost impossible to speak about every Greek archaeological site because it's a huge and immense archaeological heritage. But actually, just to mention few of these Greek settlements that today were transformed into cities, you can see here a list. Naxos, which is today Giardini Naxos, founded already at 735 before Christ, or Zancle, which is Messina, Catane, which is Catania, Syracusae, which is the city of Syracusa that became actually between the 6th and the 5th century before Christ, what we are calling the golden age of Sicily, one of the most powerful Greek cities that we have in the world. It was part of what we are calling Magna Graecia, the big Greece area. Okay, of course, Greek or great Greek thinkers and scientists such as Archimedes and Pythagoras were born here, and of course left a lot of important scientific heritage almost everywhere. Just to give you a short example, this is a map of the east coast of Sicily, and we are going to see that along the east coast there is many archaeological sites which are dating back to the Greek period. Actually, we spoke about the important one, like Taormina, Catania, Syracusa, but there are many other small, tiny archaeological sites that will explain you why Sicily was so important to the Greek at the 8th, 7th century before Christ. Okay, can you go ahead, Johnny? Okay, I just put here few of the main archaeological sites that we have in Sicily, like the Greek theater of Syracuse. The Greek theater of Syracuse, which was all, Johnny, you go fast, which actually is the second largest Greek theater that we have in the world. In its golden period, we are speaking about the 5th century before Christ, it could host more than 18,000 spectators. It's immense, it's huge, and it's still in use. Actually, recently, I mean, we are going to have in July this year, the Festival of the Greek Tragedies, which you are going to see in the same Greek theater how the Greek were done, their Greek theater. So actually, it's not just an archaeological site, it's something that we are still using also today. The second important Greek theater that we have in Sicily is the one that we have in the city of Taormina. Not the largest one, 3rd century before Christ, but surely the one that have the most beautiful panorama that we have in Sicily. The remains that you are going to see in front of you are not Greek. They are Roman, because actually the Roman were enlarging the theater and changing the aspect. But from there, you can see the beautiful Mount Etna, and of course, how we call it, Mama Etna, in the Bay of Naxos. Definitely one of the most visitable sites that we have at the island of Sicily. Can you go ahead? Okay. Now, second thing, which actually changed completely the aspect of the east coast of Sicily, is related to the geology of Sicily. Okay, you can see here a map of the Mediterranean Sea, and you will see that the Mediterranean is split, or actually all the earth were built over two tectonical shelves, the African plate and the Euro-Asian plate. Sicily, unfortunately, is half located on the Euro-Asian plate and half located on the African plate. What does it mean, this geological position? That means that the plates underneath are in a constant movement. Sometimes they clash and meet. And of course, each time that they are clashing together, we have earthquakes. So the east coast of Sicily is subject to a numerous earthquake that took place along the history. Okay, the most, or the last one that we have was a tsunami more than an earthquake that took place in the city of Messina, on the Strait of Messina, in 1908. Okay, the wave, actually the high waves of the Mediterranean Sea washed away almost completely the city of Messina itself. But Johnny, can you go ahead? But actually, if you would like to go back to the history, one of the most important earthquakes that we have at the island of Sicily is the earthquake of what we are calling the Noto Valley, okay? Now, the earthquake of Noto Valley is involving all this corner of the island that in this map, actually it's signed in orange color, okay? The epicenter of the earthquake was a small, tiny city called Noto, okay? And actually this earthquake gave or brought a huge damage to the island of Sicily, okay? More than 45 cities in the earthquake of 1693 were or heavily damaged or completely razed to the ground. It means that all this corner of Sicily, which is signed with this orange color, was rebuilt again in the late 1700s, and this time in the Baroque style. So if you will come to this corner of the island, you will see that the main architecture that you are going to see in these places is related to the Baroque period, okay? Can you go ahead, John? So actually the earthquake with the Baroque cities that we have in what we are calling the Noto Valley is becoming or was declared UNESCO World Heritage already in 2002. It's including Baroque cities like Caltagirone, the capital of the ceramic, the Sicilian ceramic, the city of Catania, which is the second largest city that we have at the island of Sicily, and the cities of Modica, which is actually the capital of the Sicilian chocolate, the city of Noto that we are going to visit together, the beautiful city of Ragusa, and the city of Sicily. All of them that were existed already in the medieval period were entirely rebuilt again in the predominant, of course, architecture, which is the Baroque architecture. I just put here some examples in order to show you what we mean by the Baroque architecture. Baroque architecture means mostly overload of element. More decoration you put, better it will become. Now, most of the constructions that we have from the Baroque period, they are all made with limestone. I put here instead the facade of the mother cathedral of the city of Catania, which you are going to see have a different color, okay? Since we are living in the city of Catania, which is on the foot of Mount Etna, we have a lot of lava material construction. So you are going to see that the facade is outbuilt with this kind of a gray material, which coming from Mount Etna, combining with actually a limestone, which is coming from the area of Syracuse, which actually create this dramatic, a beautiful facade in the Mother Cathedral of Catania. I put also another example, which is actually the Mother Cathedral of the city of Modica, dedicated to Saint George. Actually, if you will see it in real, you're going to see that it's much more beautiful than the picture itself, because in order to reach this church, there is a huge monumental staircase that takes you from the main road all the way uphill in order to visit this beautiful territory. Okay? Then we go, and of course, we cannot speak about Baroque without touching what is called the jewel of all the Baroque city, the city of Noto itself. The city of Noto that have been the epicenter of the earthquake of 1693. Therefore, the city was completely razed to the ground, and it was moved from its original location 8 kilometers toward the city, okay? So what we are going to do right now, we are going to have a short visit of the city of Noto.
Johnny, no sound.
Sound. Hold on.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Sicily. Today our field trip is going to be concentrated on the southeast corner of Sicily, especially in this territory that till today is called the Noto Valley. Our field trip today is going to be concentrated much more about Baroque architecture that we are going to see later on in the city of Noto. But before going to the Baroque territory of the city of Noto, I would like to show you the original site of the city of Noto, the ancient Noto territory. (1693), one of the most terrible earthquakes destroyed completely this corner of Sicily. The epicenter of the earthquake was the city of Noto. It occurred exactly at 11 of January 1693 at 9 p.m., where most of the people were still at home. All around the Noto Valley, more than 60,000 people lost their life. More than 45 cities were or completely razed to the ground or heavily damaged. The city of Noto, that was located here, were moved toward the coastline 8 kilometers from the original site, as the people were too frightened from a following earthquake. We just moved from ancient Noto, that was destroyed in the earthquake of 1693, to the 1700 Noto, which is located 8 kilometers toward the sea. All the city, which is stretched just behind me, were built in the Baroque architecture style. The entrance to the Baroqueish part of Noto was embellished with this beautiful gate that was built in 1841 in order to celebrate the entrance to the city of Ferdinand II, the king of the two Sicilies. And in order to celebrate this event, you will see that on the top, the architect put some symbols, kind of a declaration. You will see on the right the symbol of the dog. The dog is a symbol of loyalty. In the middle, the pelican. The pelican is a Christian symbol that symbolizes the sacrifice of Jesus Christ himself. And on the left, you are going to find the tower, which symbolizes the power of the city. Actually, you will find the declaration of the city to the king. We are loyal to the Spanish kingdom. We are strong as the watchtower, and we are extremely Catholic. The Sicilian Baroque is very evident in the facade of those two churches. You will see that the Sicilian Baroque is a combination between the neoclassical style and the Spanish Baroque that moved to Sicily through the Spanish Empire. The main idea of the Sicilian Baroque is to impress the people. And the Baroque architects have always what we are calling horror vacuum, a frightness from empty spaces. Each time they are going to see a simple facade, they are going to put as more element as they can. More decoration you put, better it will become. A lot of movement, something that you can easily see in the bell tower. It's not a smooth, flat facade. We just arrived to the main monument of the city, the Mother Church. The Mother Church of Noto is dedicated to Saint Nicholas and to one of the patron saints of the city, which is a local saint named Corrado. You will see that along the monumental staircase, the city hall made an exhibition in these days of those beautiful bronze statues that represent many myths from the Greek-Roman mythology, made by a Polish artist named Igor Mitoraj. On the back part of the church, you will see the heavy, massive cupola. The cupola actually was destroyed or collapsed inside the church with a small earthquake that took place here in 1996 and destroyed big part of the interior of the Mother Church. In front, of the mother church, there is another beautiful Baroque building. This is the City Hall, and it was built or designed by one of the main architects of the Baroque in Valley of Noto, which his name is Rosario Gagliardi. We are just reaching almost the end of the main street of the city of Noto. And actually just reaching this point, you are going to see behind me uphill and also just in front of us, two churches. In front of us, the church of St. Carlos. Behind me, the church of Montevergine. Both of them are actually a wonderful Baroque representation. You will see the facade. The facade in the Baroque style or architecture is going to be always concave or convex. Very interesting is the church of St. Carlos. One of the main characters of the Sicilian Baroque is the bell tower. The most unstable part during the earthquake is the bell tower itself. We actually lost many of our churches for what we are calling the domino effect. It means that the bell tower, that is unstable element, collapsed over the church and destroyed it. So after the Baroque entered to Sicily, they decided to integrate, to englobate the bell tower directly as part of the facade in order to reduce any risk of worse destruction of the churches themselves. So if you will take a look on the church of St. Carlos, you will see that the bell tower is just the extension of the facade itself. This road just in front of us, which is actually going all the way uphill, is a very interesting road thanks to the fact that every year in May we are having what we are calling infiorata. It means they are going to design a flower carpet all the way uphill. Walking on the main street of Noto, till now we were able mostly to see some Baroque architecture related or represented mostly by religious monument, churches, convent, monasteries. Instead, right now we are walking on the side street of Noto, and I would like to point your attention to this beautiful facade of an aristocratic palace mansion that was belonged to one of the most influential family that we had in Noto in the late 1700s. The family name is Nicolacci di Villa Dorata, that gained a fortune out of the tuna fishing business. In order to show their economical power, they are going to use mostly the balconies. The most important representation of the Baroque balconies are the balcony sustainer. all carved, chiseled out directly in the limestone, which is typical to this area of Sicily. Every balcony has a different element. You are going to see the angels, you are going to see the winged horses, the winged lions, mermaid, slaves, and so on and so forth. And this was done in order to show the power of the family in the city and to impress the people that were walking by the palace itself. Okay, so first of all, I hope you enjoy this short representation of the Baroque city of Noto. As you can understand, there is much more to say and to visit about this area. But I would like to move a little bit forward and to speak about one of the most important natural monuments that we have in the island of Sicily, which is, for you, Mount Etna, or how we call it, Mama Etna, okay? So, first of all, I told you before the geological position of Sicily, half located on the Euro-Asian shelf and half located on the African shelf. This actually geological position gave the birth also to Mount Etna. Why? Because 500,000 years ago, there was what we are calling the colossal clash of those two plates. And actually that's created actually underneath a big or huge energy that when it's come out, the formation of Mount Etna started. So actually the formation of Mount Etna started always on the east coast 500,000 years ago. Mount Etna is the highest actually peak that we have in Italy, but it's also the highest active volcano that we have all over Europe. If you want a little bit of measures of the mountain itself, you have to know that Mount Etna is high at about 11,000 feet, and actually its base circumference is about 150 kilometers. Also, Mount Etna was declared UNESCO World Heritage already or since 2013. We can speak about, of course, lava flows and eruption of Mount Etna with no stop. We need much, much more time, but you have to know that Mount Etna is extremely active volcano, and it's still active also in these days. The last eruption took place last week. I live in the city of Catania. We get used to it, and actually we are constantly showered with this actually black ash, which are showering the city of Catania constantly since we are so close to Mama Etna, okay? So this is just a good, beautiful picture that I put here. I took it in 2003, okay? And actually that's how it looked, where the plume of smoke is coming out from the summit craters of Mount Etna. For those who are thinking that Mount Etna is dangerous, it's completely not, thanks to the fact that it's erupting actually every, or at least once a year. It's releasing a lot of pressure. And that gives us the possibility to visit this beautiful mountain constantly, okay? So if you are ready, let's take a short walk on Mount Etna. I just would like to tell you that our next video is not going to start immediately on Mount Etna. It's going to start where the Mount Etna had its formation at about 40,000 years ago on the coastline, in one of the most beautiful territory that we have near the city of Catania, which is part also of your itinerary, the set itinerary by the GT, which is the Cyclop Riviera. So let's take a look. Today our day is going to be dedicated to Mount Etna. But before climbing all the way up to Mount Etna, we decided to stop on the east coast of Sicily. Actually, right now we are in a small fisherman village called the village of Acitrezza. All this area along the east coast of Sicily, that including several fishermen village, is called also the Cyclop Riviera. We stopped here not only in order to show you this beautiful landscape, but also to explain you that the formation of Mount Etna started at about 500,000 years ago, not in the same position where it's located right now, but actually it started here, directly where we are right now, along the coast of Sicily. What you see behind me is this series of lava pillars that we are calling in Sicilian dialect the needles. Those are a result of an underwater eruption that took place here at about 30,000 years ago. Of course, the lava, the magma, came out with such a strength, cooled down very fast, and create those beautiful pillars that today are located behind me. One of the most beautiful pillars were transformed into a Norman castle in a very safe position in a nearby city called the city of Aci Castello. So now that we learned that the formations of Etna started on the coastline, let's go and discover the mountain itself. We decided to stop at about 3,000 feet above sea level. We are on the middle slopes of Mount Etna. In order to take a look on the coastline, the city of Catania is just standing behind me. And if you will take a look just behind me, you will see the silhouette of two craters. Those craters are called the red craters, and they were formed at 1669. Those craters that were formed at 1669 caused one of the most important lava flows that destroyed the city of Catania. The lava flows for more than 3 months in 1669 entered to the city center of Catania, destroyed, razed to the ground, more than 25,000 houses, entered to the sea, cool down, and create an additional extra 1 kilometer of basaltic territory to the city of Catania.
Tear-shed queen bee must squeeze. The stage smells, tells, hells, bells, misspells, knocks me on my knees. It didn't hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuff, shirt like me on a tree. After I count down 3 rounds in hell, I'll be in good company.
We reached 6,000 feet on Mount Etna. The area is called Crateri Silvestri. We are going to walk over those 2 craters that are the result of an eruption that took place here at 1892. In 2002-2003, an eruption that lasted almost 1 entire year threw up to the sky a column of ash that could easily be seen from the space. The volcanic ash of Mount Etna in this eruption was thrown all the way to the nearby Libya. This eruption destroyed almost completely the tourist station where we are right now called Piano Provenzano, and destroyed also completely the cable car plan that was destroyed first in 1987 and second in 2002. Hi, everybody.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
very much. Thank you very much, Moshe.
Thank you.
For this nice walk on the Etna. I was also myself where you were in Provenzano location, and it's really something unbelievable. And walking on top of volcano is an experience, unique experience that you may have. Okay, so now we're going to talk about an itinerary that we suggest on the west part of, on the east part of Sicily, and practically this is the area that we're going to visit. The red dots are the two locations where we will be staying on a 7-day itinerary, and the yellow dot are all the locations that we will be visiting during the itinerary. Here you have a very quick itinerary at a glance with all the different area, and the itinerary will be available with the full description of everything in our website, so you can go and look at it and download it if you need it. It will be available on our website in the next days, so you will be able to look at it. So one of the main highlights of the itinerary is the visit to a winery, and this is before getting to the presentation of the hotel. Let's look at the winery that we'll be visiting during the itinerary. There you go. And these two was thank you to Moshe that create for us this nice presentation.
So, welcome to Barone di Villagrande. My name is Alfonso Caltagirone. I'm the hospitality manager of the estate. And the place we are in is our old bottaia, the cellar that dates back to the mid-1800s. The winery has been running since the 1700s, to be honest. And it's been in the same family since officially 1727, even though the Nicolosi family was here even before that. Marco is today the owner of the winery, is also the winemaker, and is the 10th generation of the Nicolosi family. And what we do here, it's wine. As you can see in front of me, there are 3 bottles among the 8 wines that we produce, just to have some representatives of them. The estate includes 18 hectares. It's more or less 45 acres of land, mainly planted with Carricante vines. We are in Milo. This is important to underline, because Milo is a special place for the white wines. Among the areas of the Etna DOC, Milo is the only one where you can place the appellation of Superiore together with the DOC certification.
It's not getting cooler in here.
On one second.
It means that white here as some
The
special.
thermometer on my desk is going up.
Johnny?
Yeah, oh, I have to check.
5, it said, but it was 79 when we came in.
I think that's Sally. Watkins, Sally, if you could turn your microphone off, that would be great.
Many other side of Mount Etna. First of all, you have to use
Thought I
Caricon.
put it down.
Yeah, this one was down, but
Johnny,
Yeah, I'm trying to see where she is because I cannot see her.
Sally, I think Sally's the only one that has the mic on.
Grapes as a base of 80% for the Etna Bianco Superiore, while for the regular Etna Bianco, you can use a 60%. What happens here in Milo is that Milo is located on a special point of Mount Etna. We're on the eastern slope at 700 meters above the sea level, and we're just below what's called the Valle del Bove, the Valley of the Ox, so-called. It's a massive valley that was once a dormant crater of the volcano. This crater collapsed 8,000 years ago, more or less, and 5,000 years ago again, bringing down all the sediment from the bottom of the lake, of course, here, mixing it with all the eruptive layers previously existing, and this created a soil that's totally unique. It means that gives, together with the exposure to the sea, to the Ionian Sea, and the sea breeze that comes up from it, it gives a special salinity to the wine. So the white wines turn out to be crisp here. They have a special mineral aspect that you can feel literally when you taste them. And there's another trait of this white wine. The high acidity due to the combination, again, given by the pH of the soil together with the big thermal excursions that we have even in August. Imagine that's end of August, for instance. That's a crucial moment for the ripening of the grapes. We can have even 20 degrees of difference between day and night. This thermal shock increases the acidity even more, and the acidity brings with it freshness, of course, and also longevity. These are white wines that you can age even more than 20 years. And in front of me, we have the younger line that we age only in stainless steel, and bottle following, and the what I call the older brother. That's our Contrada Villa Grande Bianco. It's an Etna Bianco Superiore, fermented and aged for 1 year in French oak tonneau, and following 1 year in the bottle. This one is the 2017 vintage in particular that obtained the award among the 50 best wines in the world from the Decanter magazine. And here we have the Etna Rosso. That's peculiar because we still age our blend of Nerello Mascalese and Nerello Cappuccio in chestnut barrels, like the old ones that you see behind me that we don't use anymore. The one we're using as a stand, this one is a chestnut cask, and this is what we use today. The traditional way to give an important fingerprint of the territory to our Etna Rosso.
I see my redhead, mess, red tear shed, cream be my squeeze. The stage smells, tells, hells, bells, misspells, knocks me on my knees. It didn't hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuff, shirt like me.
Okay, and now we will be heading to our hotels that we feature on our itinerary. The one is the Tedulla de Fessina, which is located on the north part of the itinerary, on the other side of the Mount Etna, on the north part of the North Etna. Also, this is a location where they create wine and other products. And now we're going to go to the very beautiful Locanda Don Serafino in Ragusa. And Alex is here to introduce you the hotel. Alex, is your microphone?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ragusa and Locanda Don Serafino. We are exactly in the southeast of Sicily, and we will introduce you our property with this video. Welcome to Locanda Don Serafino Hotel. I'm in the lobby at the moment, and as you can see, it's very particular like the restaurant. We have the rock walls around us. That's because at the time it was common for the people built the house inside the cave, inside the grotto. The building is of the 18th century, and when the family bought around 2000, the walls around me was covered with the plastic because it was very common on the 1718 found these elements of design in the houses here in Ragusa Isla. Starting the renovation, we found the original stone and we choose to leave. That's because it represents the history of the place, the history of the area. The area on the 1693 was destroyed by an earthquake, but we are lucky because here at Locanda Don Serafino we have the original staircase of the 14th century. It's pre-earthquakes, has been saved, and we just live in the origin, and nowadays you can reach your room by this way, so it's like to walking through the history of the town. So we now coming to another place. Welcome to Locanda Don Serafino restaurant. Locanda is a very particular place. Was created on 2000 to another location, but when the family bought the actual place, it was the warehouse of UNESCO site close to us. It's Chiesa dei Miracoli. We give another life and we move up to another step of cuisine. Here, Vincenzo Cagnano offers his vision of Sicilian food. And this place was converted just 20 years ago in a restaurant. For almost two centuries, the place, the warehouse, was closed and totally abandoned. And as you can see, it's very particular because, follow me, I'll show you one of the most interesting parts of the house. That's wall is pinky. That's because the rock is rich of water. It's a calcaric stone. So, as if I touch, you can see the pink of the stone, and that's the mix. It's the texture of the stone, the connection of water and calcaric stone that during the years, the century changed, becoming pink. That's very, very important for the wines because it's allowed to get the best atmosphere also for the oldest wines that we have on the wine cellar. Okay, so we're going to the wine cellar. Here is the paradise of Locanda Don Serafino, with over 1,800 labels. It's a little secret place of the property, and here we coming on the best place to share and enjoy the wines, especially Italians. But behind me, we have a special corner of French. Okay, we pass through the Sassicaia, Barolo, and arrive on the French corner. Behind me, there is the collection of Locanda Don Serafino. Start everything with two brothers. Here we have the most famous Petrus, Romane Conti, Latache, and many other wines. So you can also organize a wine tasting, a private wine tasting here in the wine cellar with our sommelier, or ordering your menu, your meals. Come here with him and choose your bottle of wine for your experience with us. Welcome to Experience Junior Suite, one of the two rooms inside the cave that are very particular. Each one is different. And we are at the ground floor. These two rooms have the independent touches from the street and are very particular because like in the luxury suite, we have this natural stone. The rock is not treated, so it's a very special room and are particular because it's not for everybody. For example, just to understand, if you suffer some allergies or you are claustrophobic, honestly, it's not the best room for you, but if you need something different, you must book this place because are very original. Now we come on the suite. It's the last room of Locanda Don Serafino. We opened it a few years ago. It's the separated room. It's above the Michelin starred restaurant. Here the guest have also the private car park, but now we come here. That's the biggest room that we have at Locanda Don Serafino. It's a room of 65 square meters covered, and it's very particular because, as you can see, the rock is natural, is treated, and you can relax and enjoy the sound of the place. But it's not the best way to enjoy the street. Now we go to see another place. Okay, we arrived on the secret place of the luxury suite. As you can see, it's green around me because we are on the private garden of this room. It's very special because only the guest of the luxury suite can enjoy this hidden, smelling the aroma, the perfume of the lemon tree. At the moment we have the flower, or have the breakfast directly in the jacuzzi.
Okay, so we are at the end of our presentation, and we thank very much all our friends in Sicily for their help to put together this nice presentation. And stay tuned because the winner will have the possibility to stay at the Locanda Don Serafino. So Tom, if you want to close, and then I will give you the prize.
I just wanted to say thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this trip through this part of Sicily. To me, it's always great to share places that I've been with people that I know love to travel. So that's a wonderful thing. And I know that there are a lot of Sicilian lovers with us today. And and those that haven't been, we really look forward to bringing you. So
okay,
that's what I have to say.
Let's draw the prices. The first one is our usual $300 coupon, and it goes to Jackie Lamotte, Circa Travel. So Jackie, if you are here, congratulations. And the prize for the stay at the Don Serafino, the Locanda Don Serafino, goes to Deborah Hale, Travel Line. Deborah?
Deborah, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Deborah.
Good, very good. So you will receive directly from the hotel your voucher to stay at the hotel. And thank you, everybody, again. And don't forget, next week we're going to have another 2 very nice webinar, and you will receive this week the registration invitation for the webinar. Thank you again. Have a good day and see you soon.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye
Looking
now.
forward. Bye. Ciao.
Thank you, Masha.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Julio.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
And you too.